If you're feeling overwhelmed with news or anything else that might be going on in your life, it might be time to forget all of that and to allow yourself to be curious. So let's get started. Hello, welcome to our 8th practice in our 2025 Intentions Instead of Resolutions Yoga Challenge. And it's less of a challenge and more of just a way to help us connect with something that's more important each week that will help us live a better life during the upcoming week. So today, I encourage you to be curious. So we're going to start this practice in cross-legged, and we're going to do a little breathing exercise. So we're going to do a box breath. And what we'll do is inhale for a count of 5, not exactly 5 seconds, but for a count of 5. We'll retain that breath for filling your belly first, and then retaining that breath for another count of 5, and then exhaling for a count of 5 and holding at the bottom. So after you've exhaled, we'll count for another 5. So that's going up for 5, hold for 5, out for 5, hold for 5. Therefore, the name box breathing. So if it helps you to fill your abdomen with your breath, keep your hands on your abdomen. Otherwise, you can just rest them on your knees or on your thighs, wherever you feel the most comfortable. And I encourage you to close your eyes while you're doing this breathing exercise. So let's get started. Breathing in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, and hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, and hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. One last time. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, and hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going to get some spinal flexion, but we're going to do it right here in our seat. And we're going to do that by bending over to the right, swinging your abdomen forward like cow, and then back into an arched back like cat. So we're going to breathe in as we go into cow and out as we go to cat. Breathe in as we go to cow. Breathe out as we go to cat. Breathe in as we go into cow, and breathe out as we go into cat. One more time in this direction, breathing in while we go into cow. Breathe out as we go into cat. and reverse direction. So breathe in as you go into cow, breathe out as you go into cat, breathe in as you go into cow, and out as you round back into cat. Breathe in as you go into cow, breathe out as you go into cat. And one last time, take a deep breath in, going into cow, and out as you go into cat. Now we're going to sit sideways and go into a seated forward fold. Now you can keep your legs generously bent like this. And what you want to do is reach all the way up with your spine nice and straight, the crown of your head reaching for the sky, and drape your abdomen over your thighs. Grab the outside of your feet, breathe in and look forward, and out as you tuck your chin and go inwards. Now you can straighten your legs. So in order to do that, you can move your hands to your toes, or you can remain holding onto your feet. Or if you can't reach this far, hold on to your ankles and don't feel like your head has to touch your knees, but have that intention of trying to get your head or your forehead to your knees. And we're going to take a couple of deep breaths in here. So breathing in and out. Feel the movement of your back as it expands as you breathe in. And allow your head to collapse as you breathe out. Breathing in and out. Now we're going to flip over, and we're going to do that by crossing our ankles and moving onto your knees. And we're going to keep our knees together and our feet flush together. And we're going to reach back with our hips. Lay your head down to where the crown of your head is on the mat. And brush your hands back as if you're trying to paint your mat. And we're going to go into child's pose. And again, a couple more deep breaths. So breathing in and out. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Then from center, we're going to rise up. So you don't want to just throw your back up. You want to make sure that that movement comes from center. And from this position, we're going to go ahead and move our knees about hip width apart and take our right foot up into a low lunge. And you can scoot that left leg back a little bit if you want some extra space. And what we're going to do is we're going to look forward. Then we're going to place our left hand flat on the mat and rise up with our right arm. So we want to reach up to the sky and try your best to get your heart to where it spirals up to the sky. And we're going to release it, go back to our knees, and do the same thing on the other side. So lift that left leg up into a low lunge. Then we're going to place our right hand flush on the mat and twist up to the sky. So you want to feel your heart space spiraling up while the crown of your head is reaching up as well. And then we're going to come back down. Now we're going to do a pyramid pose. And I don't want you to panic. We're going to make this as easy as possible. And we're going to start with the right side. So we want to reach up with that right foot, not quite as far as we did for the low lunge. Then we're going to curl our left toes under, and from center, lift our body up in space. Then bring that foot in, not quite halfway, maybe 1 foot, since we started in something other than a low lunge. Now we can hang out right here with our nose to our knees, or keeping our core engaged and our legs squeezing towards the midline. We'll place our hands on our waist and rise up halfway. Now you want to try to keep the 4 corners of your right foot and the 4 corners of your left foot grounding into the mat. And with your core engaged and your shoulder blades reaching towards one another, you should be able to remain pretty still. This is a tough pose. So if you're unable to do it, I would recommend you just keep your hands on the mat, or you can keep that heel raised a little bit. But this is our pyramid pose. And now we're going to switch to the other side, but we're going to take a little break first. So we're going to go down to our knees, do some wrist circles, because some of you might have been resting on your hands more than you were, the 4 corners of your feet. So you can do a couple in one direction and then the other. Then we're going to go back up, and this time it'll be our left foot that comes forward. We're going to curl our right toes under, lift up from center, move that right foot in, but make sure your toes are pointed to the opposite corner of your room. And again, you can just keep your nose tucked in like this. If you feel like you can hold on to your calf, you can do that. Or with our core engaged and our thighs squeezing to the center line, put our hands on our waist and rise up halfway, making sure to squeeze our shoulder blades together. You should feel those muscles in your legs, the muscles in your back, and your abdominal wall working super hard in this position. And then when you're ready, we're going to release that. And this time we're going to go to our backs. So bring your right foot up next to your left, and then squeeze into a little pod, and then roll back. And we're going to go all the way to our backs. And we're going to squeeze our left knee into our chest, reaching up with that left leg, and then pointing our toes, flexing, pointing our toes, and flexing. Then we're going to release that left foot to the mat. So you want to keep your leg bent. And we're going to interlace our fingers behind our thigh of our right leg. And we're going to point and flex, point and flex. Now you want to try to keep your shoulder blades on your mat. If you feel like you can reach farther up to have your hands behind your calf, you can do that now. I wouldn't recommend the knee joint because we don't want to put undue stress on our knees. But this is a really great stretch for our hamstrings. And then we're going to hug that knee into our chest and raise our left foot to the sky. Pointing, flexing. You'll feel a little connection to your abdominal wall when we're in this position. Then we're going to release that right foot to the mat. And with our fingers interlaced, place them behind your left thigh. Now you'll notice right away that this side is different. we're not perfectly symmetrical. So we're capable of doing things on one side that we're not quite able to do on the other. And you might find that you have a dominant side. My dominant side is my right side. So I'm able to hold my balance a little bit when I'm on my right foot, a little bit better. I'm able to stretch a little bit farther, like with this. This is very hard on me. So I'm going to keep my fingers behind my thigh. So again, don't overstretch. Don't try to do things that are not comfortable. You want to engage your muscles, but you certainly don't want to strain anything to where you can't even practice yoga ever again. So a nice, good stretch. And now we're going to end this practice where we started in seated. So I hope that in the coming week, you're able to let go of your preconceptions and be a little bit curious and try to learn a little bit more about yourself and about the world around you. And I will see you again next week. And until then, bye.